Hi everyone and welcome back to Simming with Abby. In today's video we're going to be creating a brand new series. This is going to be called the New York Trio. I was lucky enough to visit New York recently and I was able to look at the houses and just get a really good idea of what a New York house looks like, and I saw three houses that really stood out to me and they inspired me to create this new lot. So this is basically going to be three separate houses and they're just completely different styles, but they're supposed to emulate the idea of what a New York style house looks like. So also I know that you guys are going to probably be like, well, this isn't how a New York style house is, and this should be like this and this should be like this, but really it's just an inspiration of what a New York house is. It's not exactly the same as a New York house, so I know there's going to be some of you guys who really know what a New York house looks like and be putting in your 2 cents to change it, but that's fine. I will happily take all of your comments and all of your suggestions, and I'll see what we can do and work with what we can for the house. And also a mistake that I did make while making this house is that I realized that New York houses are usually really close up to the curb. They're really pushed up to the pavement, and I did leave a rather large gap there in front of the house, so that is a big mistake that I made. I know that New York houses are really usually close to the road, so that is one of the biggest mistakes that I made while making this house. But I built it, and after I built it I was like, there's no way I'm gonna delete everything and start again, so we're just gonna have to deal with the house the way it is. Plus we're obviously not in the city, we are kind of like in the suburbs, but I decided to do it in this town anyway because I'm not a huge fan of the late night town. I do not remember what it's called, but I'm not a fan of that town, so I don't like building my houses there. It's really dark and dingy, and I don't know, I don't like it. So I built it here in the suburbs, and it's just supposed to kind of look like it's a city house or city houses. And so yeah, and since my wood cabin series only has one more part left before we actually finish that series, I thought it would just make sense to show you guys the first episode of the brand new series that we'll be continuing with once the wood cabin series is over. So you can see right now we have the basic shell of what the houses are going to look like. The house on the far right is going to be 3 stories. It's going to be the largest house, I guess, when it comes to floors, but in diameter, the house on the far left is actually much bigger. And the house on the far left is going to be the only house with a basement. Now, that was the biggest issue for me because I know that New York houses usually have a basement, but for some reason, I don't know how to make a basement inside of a foundation. It's really hard and I don't know how to do it. I need to look up tutorials on how to do it, so that's a learning process for me. I will figure it out eventually, but for now, I only created one house with the basement, and I had to actually manually make that basement myself rather than doing the regular basement tool that comes with The Sims by build mode. So you will see me do that, and it's kind of interesting basement actually. It goes down really deep, so yeah, you'll see further on in the video. And yeah, so right now I've just finished putting the roofing on the first house, which is going to be the brownstone, which is the one on the far right. The house in the center is going to be a very light stone house, and that's going to be the most modern style house. I'm not sure how I'm going to decorate the other two, but I know the one in the center is definitely going to be modern. Then the house on the far left, sorry, I get my right and left. The house on the far left is actually going to be like just a brick house. Like, it's just going to be a simple brick house with a front porch, which I've seen in a few houses. And originally I wanted to have the section at the very bottom where the foundation normally is to go down into a basement area, but I couldn't get the stairs to go down all the way into the basement, so the entrance to the basement is going to be inside of the house rather than being from the front of the house, which I do believe is how they normally are, but that's just because I'm not able to figure out how to get it to be the right way. So for now, that is what we're going with. And I'm just adding in all the windows. I'm going with dark windows for this house on the far left. You know what? I need to come up with the names for each one of these houses, so I'm not saying house on far left, house on far right. If you've got good ideas for what each house should be called, let me know, and that will make it much easier for me to like explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So this house right here that we see with the bricks is we're going to have that porch at the front. We're going to have a stairway going up, and it's going to be 2 floors, along with the house next door is going to be 2 floors as well, and it's just going to have that really deep basement, as I said. And this house is actually going to be a split level, which I think is kind of cool. I'm really working on my split level. I've done it in a few houses, but I think that this is going to be my most challenging house because there are so many floors, plus it is conjoined with 2 other houses, so as I move things around, it's going to adjust the other house. I'm going to have to level the floors. It's going to be quite tricky, but once I'm done, it should work out quite well. So that front area, we're going to have a door so they can come out and look out. I don't know if we're actually going to put anything there for them to sit down or anything. The area is quite small, but we're just going to go with that for now. The centre house, as I said, inside, it's going to be quite modern, but the exterior is going to be, I don't know how to explain it, it's just really, like, expensive looking. That's how I think, like, kind of like someone who is really close with the royals, maybe not royalty, but someone who's really close with the royals would have a really expensive looking house with a big huge archway door and just like lots of architectural pieces in the house. Maybe I don't know, I think that this looks really cool. There's lots of windows, lots of light, and this is my favorite house. I can't wait to decorate it. I already know I'm gonna have tons of color, tons of brightness and fun in that house. It's gonna be awesome. And I really don't know how I'm gonna decorate the other houses yet. Actually, you know what, guys, as we go through this as we go through this entire series, I definitely want all of your suggestions for these houses. I want to know what you think I should put in the houses, what you think I should take out, what should be where, what should not be there. Let me know, because it's going to be fun. I want to get all of your suggestions so we can chit chat through it and make the ultimate, like, New York style homes. You guys may have been to New York more often than me, so you guys will have a much better idea of what New York style homes are. Now, this house on the far right is supposed to be the brownstone, and I know what brownstones look like on the outside, but I don't know what they look like on the inside, so I'm going to have to do my research when it comes to decorating this brownstone. The other houses, we can kind of wing it and just make it our own, but brownstone, I kind of want it to be really typical of a brownstone. And I did decide to create the rooms in all of the houses, which you're going to see in a few moments, but I did decide to create all of the rooms. Now, I don't know if it's placed right or if it's not placed right, but if you guys know exactly how a brownstone room or rooms would be in a brownstone house, then let me know in the comments, because I want to make sure that I do hit the nail on the head very, very hard when it comes to that brownstone house. So this house on the far left, I am trying to create the stairway into the basement. That's what I'm trying to do, but I'm completely unsuccessful. I fail at it, and I just give up with that one. Yeah, I'm like staring at it multiple times like, okay, so how's this gonna work? How do I get into this basement? Maybe if I put the stairs outside and push it down. It keeps telling me it's inside of a foundation, but it's not. And so, yeah, it's just causing me too much problems. So now we're moving inside of the houses, and we're starting with this house on the far left. We added in some wood for the floor, and this is the part where I'm creating the split level. I have that area right there, which I believe will probably be like the living room area, maybe open kitchen, or maybe just living and dining room. And then we're gonna have the area separate and come back into the kitchen. And then this right here, the stairs I'm putting, are going to be leading into the basement downstairs. So, yeah. Also, I don't know if this is actually going to be glitchy or if it's going to be an issue for the Sims to actually walk down, because I don't know if the ceiling is going to be too low or too high or what. But what I'm going to do is create a family to move in to one of these houses so that we can test all of the houses and see what works and what doesn't work. So then I'm just adding in a doorway to the basement. So the original plan, as I said, is to put in split level. At this point, I'm just like, oh, split level's not working for me. I can't get it to work. So later on, I'll see maybe if I can adjust and have more split levels going on. But at this point, I don't have the split levels in the house. But as I said, later on, I'm going to try and see if I can get them in later on, because it's just a lot of work. It's really hard. But maybe I'll do a split level where the area goes a little bit higher than me going down into a level. Maybe they'll go up. That might be a bit easier to do. So now we're just creating all of the rooms in all of the houses. I honestly don't really know what room is going to be what, but I'm separating it with the idea in mind that we're going to have living and dining room separate. We're going to have kitchen separate. The floors are going to go upstairs into, we're going to have a main bathroom, main bedroom, maybe an ensuite. Not quite sure yet, but... So at this point, I'm now trying to make the basement for the first home. And yeah, as I said, I did struggle a little. It was quite tricky. Eventually I do figure it out, but it did take me a little while to get this basement. And as you see, it is really, really deep. So it's, you know, it's a pretty intense basement, but it's what I have to do. I want a basement in at least one of the houses, so yeah, I had to work with what I've got and try to make it into a usable basement. As I said, we're going to get Sims in here, so we'll test it out and see if it works before I completely furnish all of the houses, because it would really suck if I make all of these houses and then the Sims come and they cannot access any of the rooms or do anything in there, so we're going to test it out. I don't know what's going to be down there in the basement. Originally I was going to have a whole apartment down there, but you can see it's pretty tiny space because if I go any further up towards the wall, it's actually going to pull down the house. And you can already see in the center house, it's pulled down the part where we have the window. You can see that it's bent at the front, so I'm going to have to adjust that, which I do adjust later on, but doing split leveling and doing basements and all that other stuff with foundation, it's a pretty hard job. Especially when you're a rookie like me. I'm definitely a rookie. So, yeah, I was pushing down the ground and realized that the basement that we did originally put in there, the basement that comes with the base game, actually is still there. So as I pushed down, it showed the wall. So I had to go through and get rid of the entire basement as well. So the house that's on the far left, I also wanted it to be the one house that's like a family home maybe with a garage, well not a garage, but with a driveway. So I know that New Yorkers don't usually have driveways, nor do they usually drive anywhere. They usually have their cars parked on the street if they have a car, and they usually take public transport. So this house that I am creating, it is a house. The original house that I actually saw in New York, it doesn't have a driveway, but I thought it would be nice to at least give one of the Sims that lives in the houses a driveway. I thought it would be nice, so I added that in there. Plus, I know that New Yorkers don't usually have fences, but we're going with a fence. And the house in the center, I thought it would be nice to add a fence, but you can see the ground is just completely bent there, so it doesn't look right. I am going to adjust the ground and fix it because I don't like the way that it bends down like that, but we'll see what we can do. So I tried to put in a nice like garden green fence for the brownstone, but then I spoke with my cousin who lives in New York, and she said that there really is not like plants and trees and stuff outside the front of the house on a brownstone. It's usually just like the house, and then there's the sidewalk, and then that's it. Like there's no space for gardening and stuff. People don't garden that often, so I realized that doing that was a bad idea, so I took it off, and yeah, we're not going with any plants or any trees and stuff like that. I might add a couple trees maybe at the back or something, because this is a sim world, so it doesn't have to be completely exact. It's just inspired, so we'll see. But we'll I don't know, I'll ask your opinion. What do you think? Should I add some trees in there? Should I give them some plants in front of their house? Should I make it just simple? What do you think? I don't know. So I had to put a fence around the side of the house on the far left because creating that basement did dip the ground a little bit on the side, so just so it didn't look too crazy, I did put in a fence there on the side. Don't know how I'm going to fix that, but I'm sure I'll fix it later on. So this is the point where I'm like, oh no, the house is so far away from the sidewalk. I just realized New York houses are like literally on the sidewalk. So I tried to like push the houses forward and adjust them and bad idea, didn't work, so I just gave up with that one. I thought maybe having like cement at the front would be nice, to make it kind of look like it's a pathway. I don't know if I'm going to keep that or not yet, but for now we're going with it. And I thought the house on the far left also could do with a little bit of fake grass. I say fake grass because it's clearly a different color to the original ground, but we went with that fake grass. So now we're moving into the brownstone house, and like I said, I don't know how it normally looks, so I'm just creating a look completely from my imagination of how I picture it to look, and that's what we're going for here. Upstairs, the first floor, there's going to be quite a few rooms, but I don't know how this house is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like a young couple living here and they plan on having lots of children, and so they have this big huge house because they want to have a big family. I don't know if it's already a family that is a huge family already, and so they need all these different rooms. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but if it is like a young couple, then I'll probably make all of the rooms into like different kind of rooms, like a gym, an office, and all the other stuff, instead of having like 6 bedrooms. But that's it, guys. We have finished the exterior. You've just heard me ramble on for like 20 minutes about this house, or about these houses, should I say. I keep calling it one house. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope that you guys stay tuned, because this is going to be an awesome series. I hope that you guys do come and, you know, give your opinions and let me know what I should add in here, what you think I should do, what kind of families I should have living here. Once all this is done, I am going to also create the families and create a sim at the end. So, or maybe I'll do it before I decorate each house. I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever you guys think I should do, let me know in the comment box, and we'll do that before I start working on the interior design. So yeah, I just wanted to get this video out there so that you guys could see this video and see what my next series is going to be, because after this we are going to go ahead and do the wood cabin and finish that series off before I continue with this series. But I wanted to get all of your opinions and all of your suggestions before I actually jump into the decorating. So that is it for today. I am signing off, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone!